Okay, so we have a slide on risk here. Risk could be really addressed anywhere, but within service strategy, there's a lot of risk planning that's done by upper management. So I think that the way the slides are organized is it's okay for risk to be here because they it applies throughout the entire life cycle. But the definition of a risk is an uncertainty of outcome, whether positive opportunity or negative threat. So when we talk about risk management, which we don't have a specific process for that, um, we're talking about the unknown. We're talking about something that we aren't sure about. And oftentimes, companies avoid talking about risk, either because they're optimistic or the risk. So, the risk of us firing or terminating our senior VP, what does that look like? And oftentimes, we don't want to answer that question because we don't have an answer for it, or we don't want to take the time to think about it. So, risk is just an uncertainty of an outcome. It could be a positive outcome or it could be a negative outcome. It's just the unknown. Managing risk requires the identification and control of exposure to risk, which may have impact on the achievement of an organization's business objectives. So, once again, when we talk about risk management and having these discussions and attempting to mitigate risk, sometimes we don't want to talk about them because if we decide that we're going to assume the risk, that we also have to acknowledge the fact that assuming the risk could have an impact on an organizational business objective. So, if we are in the midst of a recompete and our project manager has been having poor performance and senior level management is unhappy with him and we decide that we want to terminate him, well, we have to think about what do we run the risk of? We run the risk of that person leaving with a lot of the knowledge and experience that we have. We run the risk of trying to find someone to write in our proposal that has the same knowledge and skills that that person had. We run the risk of the new client not liking or not agreeing to bring on a new person. So it's all these different risks that we have to consider. And we also have to consider how that's going to affect our organization's business outcomes or objectives. And service management serves as a risk filter. So if we implement a lot of the concepts that we talked about in service management, we'll help to mitigate those risks and figure out what things do we need? What things can we live without? So service management helps to filter through some of those risks. This is just something that's a best practice, but it won't come up in your on your exam. Okay, risk and investment decisions. Once again, we're talking about strategy. So from a upper management perspective of board of directive strategy, we're looking at this chart and let's see, we're starting from the bottom, run the business, which is maintain existing services, and you have your core maintenance of your critical services. Grow the business. You may have new services in an existing market or enhance existing services. And then transform the business would be a totally new venture. Depending on what type of investment decision you want to make, the riskier it is from run the business to transform the business. So obviously, if you're just running the business, you're doing day-to-day stuff, we're not changing anything, we want to keep things the way we are. As long as we're getting paid, we don't grow the business. We may try to do some upgrades. We may try to see if we can offer a new service to a couple of our clients, see how that goes. If there's a moderate risk, transform your business and get into a new market or have a new merger, then that's very, very risky. One way risks relate to strategic services.
right now we're transitioning from RTB to GTB. That
Oh,
was
really?
all of 2018 for me.
Really?
Yeah, our ecom platform. We were. I just did a slide on this for our an organizational review, a business planning meeting, where it was like,